Hi, Lara. Thank you for joining me today. It's so nice to have you back. Um, I want to talk to you a little bit today around hyper-personalization, and that is a concept that we talk about a lot at Engageus. But the concept of hyper-personalization may actually be new to a lot of folks. And I know you have recently written an article sort of looking in depth at the benefits of using hyper-personalization in your outbound communications. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that today.
Right?
So first off, why don't you just sort of let everyone know here, what does hyper-personalization mean when it comes to health plan member communications?
Sure. So this concept of hyper-personalization, it's exactly what I teach my students in my health and medical writing course at NYU. Consumers today are expecting a high level of hyper-personalization everywhere from banking to travel to retail. It's what everyone expects in their everyday lives. In healthcare, though, there's still a lot of room for improvement. We still see a lot of opportunity in moving that needle on hyper-personalization to get members to change their behaviors and get the care they need. It's all about using a single data element like name, age, or location. That's just table stakes in today's world. It's hyper-personalization is about going beyond that single data element and tailoring outreach, using what the plan knows about the member, language preference or benefit design, communication channel preference. All of these elements, you can combine them, and that's what transforms the message into something that's relevant to the member and actionable.
Absolutely. We're so accustomed to that kind of hyper-personalization on a daily basis. Sometimes now in our everyday lives, we don't even recognize it. It's so commonplace in other industries, right?
Exactly.
Um, so why is personalization so important, especially as it relates to improving member engagement with a health plan?
So hyper-personalization is what helps that message be relevant to the member, and it's what makes it persuasive and actionable. So this helps to improve response rates, trust with the member, and it helps members get the care they need ultimately. We've seen anywhere from 20% to 300% lift in engagement when health plans successfully use hyper-personalization in messaging campaigns. That's a huge opportunity that health plans don't want to miss out on.
That is a huge opportunity. And there's a lot of different tactics that can be employed there to kind of move the needle, right?
Yeah.
So what, in your opinion, are some of those high value use cases that health plans should start kind of thinking about when they want to use hyper personalization in some of their communications?
We like to recommend a really strong starting point, and that includes preventive care reminders. Onboarding and welcome campaigns are a great place to start that relationship with a member and start your relationship off on the right foot. Um, Benefits education is another area where you can build trust and education through a personalized campaign. And that really delivers down the road with that member throughout their care journey. Those types of use cases allow plans to start incrementally and build momentum and show that practical value immediately that they can then build upon.
Yeah, I love the idea of starting off on the right foot with onboarding and welcome because, as they always say, you never have a chance to make a first impression again. So why not
Right,
start in the beginning, right?
exactly.
Um, so how would you recommend a health plan move from sort of basic personalization, using someone's name, for example, to that more advanced strategy of hyper personalization?
At Engageus, we like to use either a maturity model framework or even a roadmap approach to hyper-personalization. So mapping out where a client currently is in their personalization approach and mapping out where they want to be really helps to define incremental steps that a plan can go through as they mature and evolve in using and testing these strategies to demonstrate success. Um, a lot of plans start at more of a foundational stage where they may be sending personalized care gap letters through the mail, and they may use a member's name, right? So that's a single data attribute, a single data element. It's foundational. You might be using age or location to execute some of those campaigns. And that's a great place to start. As you build upon that momentum, you will evolve further and maybe start using targeted messaging around claims history and engagement history. That's those behavioral data points that engages we know are like gold, right? So behavior, bringing in those behavioral data points is really important to help members understand we know who they are, and we know how they've been engaging with their care across their journey. Um, as
Yeah.
health plans mature and evolve even further and demonstrate that success incrementally, you can kind of mature to more of a dynamic outreach using triggered events in real time, and then even using predictive strategies by using analytics and test and learn approach. So that's kind of different ways you can think about mapping out your hyper-personalization evolution.
That's great. It's a nice sort of you just outlined a nice crawl, walk, run, I think,
Exactly.
approach to it, which is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess my last question then would be, what are the principles that you think should really guide the implementation of this kind of hyper-personalization strategy?
sure. It's all easy to think about these ideas hypothetically, right? But when the rubber meets the road and we need to talk about how do we implement these strategies, that's what's really important, right? So some of those elements include selecting high value, low risk use cases. So we talked about some of those just a few moments ago, right? So preventive care reminders, things like that are a great way to get your feet wet and demonstrate success. You also want to make sure that you trust your data and you're using data that you believe in kind of the data integrity, right? So you don't want to start with maybe a data that maybe changes very frequently, or you're not sure where the data came from. You want to choose data elements in your strategy and in your approach that you know you can trust. And that includes behavioral data as well. And then obviously making sure that you're safeguarding member privacy, following compliance, and gathering consent. Those are all guiding principles of the work we do at Engages that are so important that you need to keep in mind as you roll out your personalization strategy.
Definitely. Some of those last things are that you mentioned are definitely table stakes, right? That we would
Absolutely.
always have in place. So excellent insights and recommendations, Laura. Thank you for your input here, as always, super valuable. And I would encourage everyone to go and read your full article that has even more details around each one of the things that we just discussed. So please go check that out online on
Thanks,
our website.
Melissa.
Thanks, Laura.